Ah, the French champagne.
But Sean, you kind of hit on something which I think is the first thing
Thank you.
I want to. Yeah, you're welcome. That I want to address in terms of the story of this movie, which is just like the characters and their relation to each other. I kind of love the most structured part of the movie was the shot where they had all the characters walking up the hill of the movie, and someone is narrating. First of all, the guy narrating, he says, someone's like, "Oh, he's like, "Oh, you're like, are you a scientist?" And he's like, "I'm no scientist. I'm a technician and a handyman." Like he says what he is. Like that's what I am. And then you get a long shot of people walking up the hill, and he's like, "This is so and so. They do ocean biology. This is so and so. They do plant biology."
Yeah, I was struggling to write it down. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down just like why did they choose him to give that like information dump? Like the guy's just like, I don't know much about anything, but I know these people and all what they do and like and the science that's involved and all that. He seems to know a lot more than he gives himself credit for. Most of the movie.
It's beautiful. I also, in terms of characterizations, they're all supposed to be scientists, of some sort, botanists, biologists, that kind of thing. And they don't write anything for our female lead to do except scream and be like, and smash her head off of a pole and faint. And then 3/4 of the way through the film, she just goes, "Well, I guess I better make you all some food," and disappears for a little while.
Yeah. The people in this movie are never concerned about anything that happens. And I don't know if that's a story thing or an acting note, but the fact, like, no one reacts to the fact that there's a giant telepathic crab monster at all. They're just
There's
like,
no urgency.
They're like back in the house and they're just like, well,
there is no urgency.
How's the radio going? Oh, well, I can make some food soon. Like, no one's like,
yeah. Oh, you hit your head. Well, I'll get you back to the cabin for some coffee. Like, yeah, like the craziness, like of hearing like a detached, floating, ethereal voice, or seeing giant crabs. Like none of it seems to like phase them the way you think it would. Yeah, but like going back to like whether it's an acting thing or that sort of thing, like Roger Corman fully admits that he did not know how to work with actors, so he started taking acting classes so that he could learn how to direct actors eventually. Yeah,
that's perfect.
You see in his later films where the actors, some actors seem to improve, like he gives them more notes. But yeah, but this movie's not about acting.
Be a bit of a if they're just following the script that like they find two of their compatriots missing and presumed dead on the beach, and then essentially they might as well turn to each other and be like, "Well, I'm famished. Shall we get back?" Like that's the beats that we see numerous times in this.
In the first 2 minutes of the film, a man is decapitated by something and is immediately forgotten about.
Yeah, they never.
They move on fast.
Yeah.
And the people who pulled him up out of the water are like just like, that kind of thing happens, no big deal.
It's a riptide.
I'm not scarred at all.
And also the other story, the main story thing, which is that the island is shrinking / the crab is destroying
the crabs are destroying it,
or with
I think they're emitting like heat waves from their body that is like vulcanizing the interior of like the caves, which is then causing the structural integrity to fail, and then parts of the island are collapsing.
Listen, like it's brilliant. Yeah. I'm not going to come here and say that the story of this film is bad in any way. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, it's so bad.
It's fun.
And it's truly inventive.
Yeah.
Like it's such a menagerie of strange, unique ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to respect it so much, and then convincing some people to even give this director $70,000 to make this movie is so impressive, because it truly defies logic how it was made, and it has like sort of a structure where they do things, but they repeatedly go back to the same places, like just to pad. Like they also pad the runtime a bunch, where they like it starts on the beach and they go to the house, and then something happens on the beach, so they're back at the beach again, doing the same scene, and they go to the cave, and then they leave
just-
the cave, and they go back to the cave. They go back to the cave like six
all the
times.
scuba diving, that scuba diving scene where it's just the
yeah.
two of them underwater,
Yeah.
and like they find the boat or whatever, but like really nothing happens in all that underwater scene. And it goes on for a while.
Is that the
Like,
one where
I mean, without
where
that scuba diving scene,
is that the
goes,
scuba
"Oh,
diving?
she scared me."
Yeah, where he tries to kiss her underwater, and then she's like, "Oh."
Did we know before that point that those two were a couple?
No,
I
that
thought she was
Are
being
they,
like.
though?
I think
No,
so, because later he says, "Let's go back to the room, honey," or something. I don't know if he's just
No,
being...
but I think he's calling her honey. I think he's calling her
Yeah.
honey because it's the 1950s,
Yeah, I think he's
and he's just being like,
'Cause
and he's
she's-
So he was
very
just
disrespectful
sexually assaulting her
inappropriate.
underwater then. is what was happening.
she's with the
Yeah.
guy who always has to wear a cravat.
With the cravat guy.
Yeah,
And the
she's with
scientist-
cravat guy.
The German guy always wears sunglasses. It was him, right? Or was it the French guy? One of them
The French
always.
guy, yeah.
The French guy wears sunglasses, and even when they're inside and he's like reading the notes of the scientist who was there beforehand, he's reading them with sunglasses, clearly just so that when he gave his last thing, he was like, he whips them off, and he's like, but why would he leave them unfinished?
It's better with them on.
I'd feel better with sunglasses on.
And another film that I guess saved money by filming night scenes during day and filmed bad weather scenes, which are said in the script, curse this damn terrible weather
Thank
in a
you.
beautiful sunny day on a beach.
It's like
Fantastic.
this lovely California summer day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn this weather.
yeah. Oh, but those lightning shots at that one point, they're great.
Oof, yeah. I'd like
Yeah.
the harebrained scheme to have the crab step on a pressure plate that would electrocute it with like it wasn't just electricity, right? It was some kind of like
It was
heightened
positive energy is what it was.
positive energy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he steps
You're
in it 'cause he's
doing well, Crab.
really life affirming energy.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, Crab.
Yeah. All it needed was to be loved. That's the alternate ending.
That's the real ending, where
He steps on the pressure
Yeah.
plate.
where
and
the
he
crab
feels
and
love.
the crab and the one female character end up together.
Yeah.
Better
and
than
he
cravat
realizes-
guy.
Better than cravat guy.
Yeah. But like but I mean, yeah, so much TNT and so many grenades just unused.
Yeah.
Talked about all through the movie.
Yeah.
But just
Did they-
unused. And
did
then and then a device that the crabs are unharmed by them. And it's just like, why do you have TNT and grenades then? Like why is it even written into the script?
People have
If it's not
explosions.
gonna kill them.
But did
Yeah,
they
but
also
there
say
wasn't
that
any.
weren't the crabs also using the dynamite to destroy parts of the island? Like they were
Were they?
stealing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
I
they
think.
did
There were parts
steal-
of it
they
that
did,
confused
yeah,
the
they
fuck
did.
out of me.
Because at one
Yeah,
point
they do steal the TNT at one point. Yeah.
they hear like more rumblings and explosions, and one of them
Right.
is like, "Oh, it's using the dynamite now." And I was like, "The crab
Well,
is
of
using
course.
dynamite now?"
It's lighting a fire with its crab claws.
Hey, the most well-used crab claw to ever reach onto a screen in cinema.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I started getting lost in a train of thought where I imagined, okay, this crab has the ability to consume souls essentially, and still. So if we do let this crab monster go on its killing spree like it wants to, that might be a better existence, honestly, to like cerebrally live within this crab conscience with everyone else in the world, more of a virtual reality than the one we do live in. So I was kind of okay with it.
But you're not in a good place.
Yeah, but it's month 14 of a pandemic.
It's those sort of dark thoughts that make me
There's
want to
no-
send you flowers.
No pandemics in a crab.
The citizen gain of the week is